Hello students, now I'll be teaching you how to implement stack in Python. Now what is a stack? Stack is a linear data structure. You all know what is a data structure? It is a way of storing and organizing data. Now what happens in a stack is you can insert and delete only from one end, and that end is generally called as top. I'll give you a very simple example. Let us take an example of a CD stack. Now in CD stack, you can go on stacking CDs. I add a first CD. Now if I want to add the second CD to the stack, I have to insert from this end. I add the second CD. I want to insert the third CD. Again, I have to insert from this end. This end is called as top end. Okay. Now, if I want to remove the CD from this stack, which is the first CD that is being removed, this one will come out first. We say stack is a LIFO structure. Last in, first out. So if you want to take out CD number 1, you have to first take out CD number 3, then CD number 2, and then first. So stack is nothing but a linear data structure that stores items in a LIFO, last in, first out, right? And in stack, generally insertion in a stack is called as push operation and deletion from a stack is called as pop operation. Now we'll be performing various operations on stack using list. You're already aware that list is a mutable data type in Python. Now we assume list is a container. We are assuming initially our container is empty and we name this container as STK. So the name of the list is STK. We are assuming it as a container. Initially we are assuming stack is empty. Now we want to add an element to this list. We have already read append. Append function simply adds an element to the list. I want to add say 3 to my stack. I'll write what? STK dot append 3. What happens? What gets added? 3 gets added to the list. I want to add another element, say 7. What do I write? STK dot append 7. Now what gets added to this list? 7. If you add any other element, again you can add append. So what is this function append doing? It is simply adding an element to the list. So to perform push operation in the stack, we'll simply call the function append. So I've written a function push, def push, you already aware, stack and D. Stack is a parameter. D is what? Data to be pushed. D is data to be pushed. And what is the statement of this function? STK is your stack list dot append D. This D gets added to the list STK. Or if you don't want to pass D as a parameter, what we can do is we can input the value of D. Now we are assuming integer value. Therefore, I perform type conversion function int. Input returns the data in string form. And then I am doing what? Adding append. So, if you don't want to pass the parameter, you input the value of D. Both these methods are correct for adding an element to the stack. We have learned how to push an element in the stack. Now we'll learn how to remove an element from the stack. We have taken a list STK. We have added two elements in the list. Now we'll remove the elements from the stack. And for that we use the function pop. Supposing I write stk dot pop. Now the stack will become, list will become 3. Again I call the function stk dot pop. Now the list will become empty. Please remember that this function pop removes the most recently added item in the list. This is the function pop. So for removing an element from the stack, we'll use the function pop. Last in, first out. So look at this function, def pop, stk is the parameter. If stk is equal to square bracket, opening and closing square brackets, this denotes stack is empty. We write return underflow. Underflow generally, if stack is empty, we say this condition denotes underflow. Now you cannot remove students from an empty class. So that is the case of underflow. So if stack is empty, I am returning what? Underflow. Else, what is the data that I am returning? stk.pop will return the most recently added data and remove it from the stack. So function pop is basically returning the most recently added data. And if stack is empty, it is returning what? Underflow. Or you can say return empty also, there's no problem. And if you don't want to return a value from the function, you can simply write this. If stack is empty, print underflow, else store the returned value of pop and then print pop data is equal to D. So either you can return the value from the function, and there's a second way of simply printing the return popped value. Option is yours. When nothing is mentioned in the problem, you can either return the value or print the popped value. Let us learn how to display the content of a stack. We have a stack stk, elements are 3 and 7. Index of 3 will be 0, for 7 it will be 1. Now we'll display the element. Let us look at the function display. Stack is the parameter. If stack is equal to opening closing parenthesis means empty, else. We have taken a variable top which is denoting the index, this index of topmost element of the list. So what will be the value of top? Length of stack minus 1. Index, topmost index will always be 1 less than the length of the stack. Then we'll take a for loop for I in range. Top, first topmost element will be printed. After that other elements will be printed. And step will be minus 1. And output of this statement will be 7 will be printed first and then 3. Now we have learned push, pop and display functions. This is a main program which will implement push, pop and display function. This is a menu driven program which will call the function push pop or display depending upon user's choice. If user input 1, data will be pushed. If user inputs 2, data will be popped. If user inputs 3, data of the stack will be displayed. And if you input 4, break. Break means you exit out of the while loop and your program will terminate. So this main program is implementing push, pop and display as long as user wants. So if you want to push 3 elements in the stack, pop 2 elements from the stack and display once, your loop will be executed 6 number of times. Option is yours. If you simply want to push 2 elements, you'll execute the loop 2 times. After going through the lecture, you have to solve these 2 assignment problems. And these 2 assignment problems will also be part of your lab notebook.